What's up? Welcome back to the Weekly Bugle podcast, where I am one of your hosts, Tyler.
And I am your other host, Jesse.
And today we are talking about three more Marvel TV series on Disney Plus. We're going to talk about Moon Knight, She-Hulk, and What If.
Yep,
What If?
because those are probably the next three coming up. Well, I guess What If got
That has to be
not.
next.
Yeah, it's August, right? It's not an official release date, but they're saying to expect What If potentially in August, which, if true, would be really cool. It would make sense too, because there's a bit of a gap in
Yeah.
between Black Widow and then Shang-Chi, which is September. So that would actually work out pretty perfectly.
Yeah, no, I didn't even think about that possibly coming out in August. So that's news to me.
I think there was like I don't know that I call it a rumor, but maybe like an unofficial leak. I don't know. I guess rumor leak sort of type deal, take it with a grain of salt type thing. So potentially What If would be in August.
Yeah, it actually is. I just looked it up and it says What If is scheduled to debut in August of 2021 and will consist of 10 episodes and it'll be
Sweet.
part of
So
phase 4. Yep.
so another 30-minute episode a week kind of style like
Yeah,
WandaVision, not the hour long type thing. So yeah,
which is
don't
cool.
expect don't expect the hour long 10 episodes, as awesome as
Um,
that would be. But
I mean, they might go over. It might be like maybe in one episode 46, one episode 26. Like I don't think they're going to
yeah,
all be like maxed out at, 30 minutes.
they hovered in WandaVision. Most of the time they were under what I had
Yeah.
always hoped, because I thought Falcon and Winter Soldier would be an hour every episode, but it was
Mhm.
usually like 45. And yeah, I think WandaVision was always like between 20 and 30.
I
So
think they do that 45 because like that's when commercials probably at like 15 minutes.
that's true. Yeah.
15, yeah, 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so
it's
I
about
think that's
even.
why. Mhm.
That makes sense. So I guess, as far as, do you want to jump into What If
Yeah,
first,
we
since
might as
that's
well since
potentially
we're
the first one?
yeah, and we're already talking about it.
All right, cool. So I guess we'll go with some of the episodes we know and some that we think will be a thing, because it's pretty
Yeah.
vague. We don't know exactly what
And
episodes will be in there.
we already have a trailer for it, which is kind of
hmm
cool.
Yeah, and it'll be narrated by Jeffrey Wright, I believe his name is, playing
Yeah, the
Watu the
Watcher.
Watcher.
Mhm.
Man, his voice is perfect for it. I love him as an actor. You may recognize him from like a Westworld, or now what?
James Bond,
Bond.
the
Yeah.
Daniel Craig series.
Yeah, he was in that. See, he's a really good actor. I love his voice as Watu the Watcher. And if you're unfamiliar with the Watchers, they're a group of, I guess, cosmic beings
Mhm.
in the Marvel universe who are very powerful, but they can see other universes and different ways that these universes are playing out, and they pretty much just watch and observe and catalog all these different, I don't know what you call it, variances in storylines and universes, if that makes sense.
Well, I want to say we saw them in one of the MCU movies with Stan Lee. Like in
Yeah, it was
it's like
Guardians 2, I think, or
maybe
Guardians
yeah.
1. It was one of the Guardians, and
I think
yeah,
I think it was too, where like he's sitting there talking to the Watchers, and they're just like listening to a story basically.
right. Yeah, so that's true. We have seen the Watchers before, and it almost kind of, I guess, I don't know that it would say that Stanley was a Watcher. That's kind of how I took it, or he was some
I
sort
think
of
so. Yeah,
Watcher type. He just didn't look like them.
I
So, but
think
yeah,
that
I'll go ahead.
explains why he has so many cameos too, because he is a quote unquote Watcher.
Yeah, it was a really cool way to tie in Stanley, that he's just, bouncing around wherever instead
Mm-hmm.
of just one stable character. Having Watu in is really cool too. He's like the main Watcher that everybody knows in the Marvel universe, or at least that readers, everybody would know. He's the one to
Mm-hmm.
pay attention to. And a lot of times he's the one that breaks his vow. He will typically intervene when he knows something crazy is about to happen that could be really destructive to a universe or to a group of people. So he'll come down and say, for example, I think he was the one that showed up to the Fantastic Four and was like, "Hey, Galactus is coming. This is going to be a big deal."
Yeah, I
And,
think you're right.
so he'll kind of give them the heads up. So it'll be cool to see if Watu shows up in maybe a bigger way down the line instead of just kind of being a narrator. But Yeah.
So you had said you like the voice for the guy playing Watcher.
Yeah.
I think the only other people that I would have been like super hyped to have to voice him would have
Mhm.
been Kiefer Sutherland. I don't know if
Yeah.
from 24. I think he has a really distinctive voice.
Mhm.
You can't go wrong with Morgan Freeman. And I think that's about it. I think that's the only two people that I think would have been like I would have been like yes. Like he
Maybe,
has
Christopher Judge, the one who's played the most recent Kratos in God of War 4. I don't know
uh
if you're familiar with him.
yeah, I know who that is. You know, there's another person. Do you watch the Mission Impossible movies?
Some of them, I've seen
Have
the later ones.
you seen Fallout where Solomon Lane, he's like Ethan has like nightmares about him. Like
I don't think so.
he has a very distinctive voice. I would have loved. He's like my new favorite voice. I think that's a weird comment to say. Mm.
I'll have to look at that. I'm not familiar with him, but I do think Jeffrey Wright is nailing it. I
Yeah,
really like him as the Watcher.
no, I'm sure he's gonna do great. But some of the episodes that we do know, and in no particular order, and by the way, this is not any kind of spoilers because we have seen a trailer for it already. Uh, we see a zombies episode,
I'm looking forward to that one.
and in the zombies episode, you see Captain America's a zombie, and he throws his shield, and Bucky catches it. So, and they're like in some kind of train, subway train.
Mhm.
There's another Captain America episode where uh, on
Well, here, do you
IMDb.
wanna talk a little bit about each one and then move on to the next one?
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So Marvel Zombies, I feel like I don't know much about. I think you know a lot more than I do.
I read, a few, like, I don't know what you call it. I read, like, a couple graphic novels for it, so I kept up for a little bit, and, it was cool. Like, thematically, it's really awesome. It's not necessarily one that you need to go verbatim on. You can kinda
Mhm.
just hit the basics of something crazy happened, all the a zombie plague is, infecting all of the Marvel heroes. So I'm curious to see how they integrate it into the MCU. Nonetheless, that's really cool. That's a really neat universe just to kind of touch on and just explore because it's gone for I think they might even have a current run of Marvel Zombies going again, but yeah, it's a longer series than you'd expect.
And that's on Earth 2149. And it's actually kind of cool that Robert Kirkman is wrote it.
Oh, from the guy who wrote The Walking Dead.
Yeah, he wrote that. He also wrote Invisible on Amazon.
You mean Invincible?
Invincible, yeah. Damn it,
Yeah.
I always fuck up somewhere. But yeah, Invincible. It's really good. Um, but yeah, they said there's a Marvel Zombies crossover with the Ultimate Fantastic Four. But yeah, so I think that's all I really know about zombies,
Yeah,
Marvel zombies.
it'll be an interesting. I think it's the one that I'm most excited for because I didn't think we would ever get any kind of zombie type deal in the
Hmm.
MCU. So I think this is a great one to pull. I think it's the one that I'm most excited for just because it's so off the wall but still tied to the comics. And the zombie plague is a pretty massive one because the zombies end up going from universe to universe. So they're a pretty crazy
Really?
threat. Yeah, so they go all over the place and because they need to eat. So once they've eaten, everything on their universe, now they got to find a way to go to another universe where it's just a whole new world of people to devour and they just kind of bounce around doing that. They've like taken down Galactus and eaten him and
Yeah,
yeah,
like I'm
it's
reading it
nuts.
now, and the uh zombies attack Silver Surfer, who's overpowered and devoured by several of the former superhero Colonel America. So Captain America has is now a Colonel.
Mhm.
Iron Man, Giant Man, Spider Man, Luke Cage, Hulk, and Wolverine. It's kind of crazy to think that Wolverine can become a zombie because you would think with his healing ability, it could like fight that off.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, I don't know. I guess you could always just write off the infection as something that bypasses mutant
Hmm.
abilities or however. I don't remember exactly how they work Wolverine into it, but but yeah, it's there's some crazy stuff. I think they eat the Silver Surfer and they start to get some of his cosmic power, and that helps them to like fly and go to these different places. So
Um,
yeah, it's a crazy one for sure.
So, the like protagonist, because like the zombies are kind of like the antagonists, I guess, in this, is the Black Panther, and him and Wasp restored basically the whole universe. Uh, and they after the planet was depopulated from the virus. So I guess. So another thing to Chadwick Boswick is this is going to be his last
Bozeman.
Boswick. I thought it was no, it's Chadwick. You're right. Chadwick, T'Challa, Black Panther. This is going to be his actual last Marvel um,
Yeah,
footing
performance.
performance. Yeah, because he's going to voice T'Challa, who's going to be in multiple episodes of this, and looks like, and if they followed out the comics, he will be the Black Panther, and the Black Panther is the protagonist, and he kind of like saves everybody, you know, defeats the zombie virus.
Yeah, I
At least
never
in the
finished the
comics.
series. Yeah, I didn't finish it. I after a while, I got a little bit burnt out on it. But
Hmm.
yeah, if they restored it, that is pretty cool. But I guess since you brought up Chadwick, we might as well talk
Jump
about
to
his
him.
episode a little bit. Yeah, because it looks like he will be the what if T'Challa was Star Lord. So
Yeah.
in the
So
trailer, he's picked up by Yondu. And sorry, go ahead, Tyler. I keep cutting
no,
you
no,
off.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. You're good.
Oh yeah, I was just saying that. Yeah, so Yondu picked up uh, what's the actual star? I'm
Peter
blanking.
Quill.
Peter Quill. Yeah, in the movies he picked up Peter Quill, but in this case he's going to pick up T'Challa, and we see that in the trailer, them talking. So that'll be kind of a neat. Yeah, I don't know. It's a neat, interesting one. I don't know why Yondu is picking T'Challa. I don't know if they're insinuating that uh, Ego's son is T'Challa in this one, or if
Mm.
Yondu just picks up the wrong kid. I
Yeah,
don't
that's what
know.
I was thinking. He picked up the wrong kid, but it's kind of crazy to think that like what happens to Peter Quill if Yondu never picks him up. So I wonder if we get
Yeah.
that kind of story as well as uh, T'Challa being picked up and becoming Star Lord essentially in the Guardians. And I wonder if they're still going to become the Guardians because Peter Quill is such a unique personality to lead them. Well, and if T'Challa maybe kind of adapts into that Peter Quill personality, and maybe Peter Quill becomes somebody else, or maybe Peter Quill becomes White Wolf. Like
Yeah, I don't know. Or
it's
maybe
just
he just doesn't, yeah, tie in at all. Or I don't even
yeah.
know if T'Challa will still have ties to Wakanda. If we'll see like a Star
Well,
Lord with Wakandan tech.
even in the trailer, he still has his accent. I don't know if
Right,
you
that's
noticed that.
true. That's
Yeah.
true. So he's probably abducted in Wakanda,
Or yeah, from Wakanda or
or like
something.
right out on the outskirts. Because I don't
Hmm.
know if Yondu could even get in to Wakanda.
Well, T'Challa has to be like outside. Like how sometimes there's people like guarding the perimeter.
Right.
I think maybe he might be like outside on the perimeter, and then the spaceship just comes and picks him up, and you
Yeah,
know.
like outside of that dome.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But I think that's a really cool one, and this is going to be T'Challa's Chadwick's last performance.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It's the one I'm really looking forward to it because I know it'll be great. I'm also not looking forward to it because I know I'm probably going to be like an emotional wreck. Like it's going to be a really
Yeah.
tough one to get through because I'm just going to be sad. It's like I can't go back and watch Black Panther because it like makes
You
me.
haven't watched Black Panther since he passed?
No, I know I want to, but I'm also it's tough to go there because it's like I know that it's going to be difficult, but it's like I also want to just kind of like enjoy what he
Ha-
made.
have you watched any of the Moon season, like Civil War, Infinity, or Endgame, since he's passed? Because I know
No.
I've watched Endgame and Infinity War like 2 or 3 times.
I don't know. I haven't. I don't think so. I've been
Wow.
meaning to watch Endgame, so I think I'll like accidentally like I'll forget that he shows up at the end. So
Hmm.
I'll probably do that. That might be a good like warm up for other
For him.
movies that he in. Yeah.
Yeah, do that one and then do Infinity War and the Civil War and then just do
Yeah.
his.
Just work
Because
my way back.
because he has like bigger parts in each of those. Like in game he has
Yeah.
super smart because the end. Infinity War he has a little bit more. Civil War
Mhm.
he's a big part of the story, and then
Yeah.
do Black Panther because he is the story.
That's true. Oh man.
um,
Well, so what do we have for the next episode?
there's a Captain America episode.
Okay.
So it is so
The Peggy Carter one?
yes. So Peggy becomes Captain America or Captain Britain because in her shield she even has like the British logo.
Right. Yeah, the flag.
But when you go on IMDb, it says both of them become get the super soldier serum.
Hmm.
And so that's kind of interesting. And also in the trailer, you see them kissing, but Steve looks like tiny Steve. He doesn't look like
Right.
like Super Soldier Steve. So maybe in this one, but even when she got Super Soldier, she's not bigger than what what she normally is. So maybe this Super Soldier doesn't make you, brolic.
Yeah, I wonder how or why Peggy's selected in this what if, because it looked like they were gonna go with, what was his name, Hodge, I think,
Hmm.
was like the other, like the bully candidate in the
So
military.
do you remember in the first Avenger? This is gonna be a huge, crazy callback when
Okay.
Tommy Lee, the general, threw a grenade and Steve Rogers jumps on it, right?
Right.
And you see all the other characters, like our actors, run, right? Well, if you look closely, you can see Peggy was running towards the grenade as well.
Oh, you're totally right. Yeah, she kind of
So,
has a little bit of an instant.
so she has that, the heart that like Steve does. Now, I'm not saying it's as big as Steve's or as pure as Steve's,
Right, right.
but she is willing to sacrifice herself like Steve.
So maybe she dove on it before Steve, or
Steve,
maybe Steve didn't
yeah.
dive on it, something along those lines. It's interesting too that they are gonna have a relationship still.
Hmm.
I guess it makes sense,
Well,
but
they still had a
also,
relationship at the they had a relationship even when he became Captain America. And then this also can lead to like, what if Steve never got frozen? Maybe they continued their relationship because remember how when he's crashing the plane, he's like, "You owe me a dance" and everything. Like maybe
you're
he shows
right.
up to the dance so he doesn't get frozen.
That's true. So yeah, maybe it'll totally bypass that as well. There was also the Mark One armor, like the Iron Man suit that we
Yes.
see Peggy as when she's all capped up, jumping like right at the back of the Iron Man
Hmm.
suit.
I
Who do
want
you
to
think
say
is piloting that?
I want to say it's still going to be unless I want to say it's still going to be Tony.
'Cause so you think maybe Peggy gets frozen? Because she would have to get frozen and then end up in modern day
Yeah. So
with
maybe
Tony,
maybe
unless
she
Howard comes up with his own
that's a
Iron Man
possibility
suit.
too.
Yeah.
Because what if Steve doesn't get frozen and Peggy drives the ship into the ocean and
Yeah,
becomes
so it could go
frozen?
a couple ways.
Yeah, and that also leads like there's an Iron Man episode too as
Mhm.
well. So, but were you done with Captain America?
Yeah, sure, we can talk about that Iron
Yeah.
Man
So
episode.
there's an Iron Man episode. So like you said, we see Peggy on the back of this Mark One, which is the armor that Tony builds in the cave.
Mhm.
But we also see a scene from Iron Man 2 where Tony's sitting in the donut eating donuts, like he's at a donut
Mhm.
shop when he meets Samuel L. Jackson's Fury character. So, but that's all you like really know about. You know about that episode. Like, I don't know if that's a
Yeah.
flashback. Maybe the Watcher's watching that, and he's like, "This is Earth 616, and this happens on Earth 848 or something like that."
So I guess this would be the last Robert Downey Jr. performance in the MCU for
Unless he
now, at
comes
least.
back,
Yeah,
yeah.
unless he comes back, because that would mean if we're getting Tony, then he must be voicing something. So he must
Hmm.
have a minor role doing that. But yeah, we don't know much. I don't know what in Iron Man 2 you could swap out to make that a what if. Trying to think.
Yeah. See, in this series, we have everybody who's been in the MCU is voicing their own character.
Right.
So, like, you know, Michael Douglas or Dominic Cooper, who's Howard Stark, Josh Brolin,
I didn't
Karen.
expect Downey to come back at all though. Like I thought he was like
Well,
done, done, done.
so according to IMDb, it doesn't have a Tony Stark. It
So
doesn't.
maybe it's just a visual of him and he doesn't actually speak.
That's possibility. There's even
So I guess we
Taserface
don't
in here.
know. Even Taserface. So I guess we don't know for sure that Downey will be there.
Hmm.
Stark could just fly by in animated form or be up in the
It,
donut as it pans to a different
yeah, or
conversation.
maybe how like the Marvel logos like shows all a bunch of different scenes.
Yeah.
Maybe the Watcher's watching the different universes, and that's a clip we see from 616.
Hmm. Yeah, maybe. It seems weird to put it in the trailer too if you're not gonna use Iron Man at all. I don't know.
I mean, well, you see Iron Man because Peggy's writing them, but
Well, but
you
we don't know if that's Howard. I mean specifically
no,
Tony
no, I
for
know that, but
sure.
that's what I'm saying. Like, you can still draw an audience from the Iron Man fans
Right.
because you see, like, oh, look, Iron Man's first armor, and then you show that, like, to bring kids in even more. because
Right.
kids love Iron Man, and then like, but that's just it. That's the only scene from the Tony Stark Iron Man. We get a Howard Stark Iron Man, or maybe that's even Peggy, not Peggy. Uh, what's his wife's name? Piper, Pepper.
Pepper.
Yeah,
Yes. But
we
my point
see
was, why even show the Iron Man 2 clip, like, if he's not gonna really do
because it,
much?
it brings in the audience. Like you see clips like where they show like little clips that like don't mean anything, just to like
Mhm.
bring that audience
I
in.
guess that's true. It is more of a sales point, and yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, I guess it remains to be seen. I don't know if RDJ will be there or not, but yeah, we get Iron Man at least in physical
Yeah.
performance. We see him in the artwork. But I guess what's the other one? Because we really don't know
Um,
anything about Iron
Doctor
Man.
Strange. We see a
That one
couple.
is intriguing.
We see a
Yeah,
couple of Doctor Strange clips, and there's even one where he's fighting himself.
like a darker version of himself.
Yeah,
So I wonder if Doctor Strange like succumbs to the dark magic or joins with Caecilius. I
maybe
don't
he
know.
goes to another timeline and fights himself.
He could, yeah, another multiverse thing.
What if this is just him making multiples of him, and he's practicing like his magic?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that would be really underwhelming.
Yeah, but that's just something like we don't know, you know.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know. But I'm really curious to see why he's fighting himself, or like, and there's like even a scene where he's like fighting with like Dormammu, because if you think about when he's fighting Dormammu, he's like on those like little rocks and whatnot,
Right?
and so maybe he's fighting Dormammu again, and like maybe he loses.
Maybe. Yeah, yeah, that one's a very mysterious one to me. Just the dark, strange, and the because it'd be one thing to say like, oh, what if Doctor Strange dealt in dark arts, but to have two versions of himself simultaneously seems like a yeah, I don't know what exactly they're going for there, but
Oh,
I'm definitely very interested
so
in
I
seeing
fact
that.
checked myself. Jeff Goldblum confirmed Robert Downey Jr. is to return as Iron Man in Disney Plus animated What If.
Good job, Jeff. Okay,
Yes,
so he is in there.
he is in it. Yes. So that
Man,
also
you
means we're getting Jeff Goldblum again.
yeah, yeah, the Grandmaster.
Yeah. A couple of the characters, like some of the more popular characters that I saw, according to IMDb,
Mhm.
that are going to be in it: Peggy, Thanos, Howard Stark. Uh, Michael Douglas is going to be Ant Man and Pym.
Oh,
Nebula,
okay.
Grandmaster, Crossbones, Loki, Thor, Karath, Nick, Zolo, Killmonger, Jane, Hawkeye, a young Yandu.
Huh.
Uh, Probably when he gets T'Challa.
Yeah, but that
Scott
would be young T'Challa. Yondu would still in the trailer it was still Michael Rooker as
Yandu, yeah.
Yondu.
But yeah, it is Michael Rucker. It just says young Yandu. You
Oh,
have Scott
okay.
Lang, Bruce Banner, Bucky, Taserface, Kong, Korg, excuse me, and then T'Challa, just to name some of
Okay.
the more popular ones. Taserface isn't that popular, but like Taserface pops out.
Yeah, you remember Taserface for
Yeah,
sure. It's cool that they're bringing him in, so I guess maybe T'Challa Star Lord will take out Taserface.
Taserface, yeah.
Yeah.
Or get kidnapped by him.
So,
Um,
what other? I know there's a Thor one
yeah,
based
you
on
see
like
a
the Thor one movie.
you see a clip of Thor kind of jumping like he did in Thor 1 to get Mjolnir. And that's all you
Yeah,
really see about Thor either.
yeah. When he's going into that shield tent where
Mhm.
he's trying to recover the hammer, and we see a clip of Hawkeye taking aim at Thor as well
Yeah.
in that. So
Maybe in this, like we talked a little bit before the podcast, maybe Hawkeye kills Thor. What if
yeah.
Hawkeye kills Thor and then picks the hammer up himself and becomes Thor? Or Jane Foster's in it. Maybe she becomes Thor. And this is like, the kind of getting the audience ready for a female Thor.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, if she just
Hmm.
jumps the gun and grabs the hammer. Yeah, I don't know. I guess what would happen if Hawkeye shot Thor and, now nobody is, who's worthy now if Thor is
Well, what if Hawkeye shoots Thor, and then Jane picks it up to save Thor, like to like fight off. I mean, like she becomes, not picks up Thor, picks up Mjolnir,
right, right.
and so like to fight off everybody.
Or in like her pain, I guess maybe she could like like call Mjolnir to her.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I don't know that we'll do. Yeah, I mean they could. I'm not too sure
I'm
I'm
not a
in for
fan
that
of
one
it,
as
but yeah.
much. Yeah.
But that I think that's it. That's all I got for What If because I don't really know anything else that's gonna be in it.
Yeah, is that all of them? I thought there were more than that.
There's 10 episodes, but based off the trailers, we know there's gonna be a zombie, a Captain America,
Mhm.
a Star Lord, an Iron Man, and a Doctor Strange. That's 5 of them. And a
Okay.
Thor, 6.
Yeah.
So there's 4 more episodes that we just don't know that we don't get in the trailer, or maybe we do get in the trailer and we're not smart enough to figure it out. Maybe some of the episodes are like part twos,
Maybe, yeah. That's true.
like the Captain America one. Peggy becomes a Cap, and then she gets frozen, wakes up, and her and Iron Man are fighting.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Yeah. What if?
Yeah, we'll
But I
definitely
guess we
see.
don't have to wait too long because, like we were saying, it looks like August, so
Mm-hmm.
only a couple months away, 3 months ish.
Yeah. So you want to move on to Moon Knight?
Yeah. Let's talk about Moon Knight a little bit.
Go ahead, lead.
So, oh, go ahead.
I said, go ahead. Tell us about Moon Knight.
Oh, so I'm suspecting that because they are filming Moon Knight right now,
Okay.
and I'm betting that next year is what we're looking at for him, 2022, because we'll probably, like we talked about last episode, Miss Marvel and Hawkeye and What If will probably be the next ones that we have for this year. Potentially, maybe there's a little bit of bleed over into 2022, but Moon Knight for sure. 2022
2022.
shouldn't be
Yes.
surpassing that. So, Oscar Isaac is Mark Spector and Moon Knight, which I think is perfect casting. I am really excited. I love Oscar Isaac. I've liked him in everything I've seen him in. He's always amazing, and he's clearly getting into it already. Have you seen those fighting?
Yeah, there's some clips
Him
on
training?
YouTube of him training. Yeah, they're pretty good too.
Yeah, he's doing some good combat choreography
Choreography, yeah.
training where he's like just disarming a guy with a knife and I think stabbing the guy with the knife too, or it looks pretty intense. I
This
think there's a
could
couple of them.
this could be the bloodiest Disney Plus series we get. I don't think like when he stabs, I don't think there's gonna be like blood gushing like how
Yeah, I
Daredevil
don't
did.
think it'll be, but he's still
Uh,
stabbing. Yeah, there may
yeah,
not be blood because you figure Black Widow's shooting people all the time, but you
yeah.
never see
See the
blood or
blood.
anything like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So I think this might be like it might be like gory because of that,
Hmm.
but I Moon Knight has the ability, I think, to be very good choreography like Daredevil.
Absolutely. Yeah, as he
And I
should. It
and
looks
I
like that's the route they're going.
Yeah, and I think it should be taken to that route just because of how great it could be, you know?
Yeah, I think because he's often Moon Knight is often described as maybe like Marvel's Batman. It's kind of loose like that. It's not
Mhm.
exactly,
Except for Moon
but
Knight kills.
yeah, Moon Knight is much darker, edgier character. Yeah, more of an anti-hero type than
Mhm.
Batman that has like a no kill rule. So Moon Knight is definitely in a different class. So he's part of more of yeah that darker group of heroes. But he has been part of the Avengers and different other groups, so he's got different shades to him. Let's see. There's so many different things I want to talk about with Moon Knight. I'm trying to think of what first. So yeah, I'm excited about the casting of Oscar Isaac. I think Oscar Isaac is a really great choice, in particular because of the dissociative identity disorder that Mark Spector faces. So like the multiple personalities type thing, which is very prevalent in the comics. So Oscar Isaac is so good of an actor in general. I think you really need a strong actor to portray somebody who's switching between different personas of themselves so he can have kind of like a McAvoy and Split
That's what I
where
was gonna
he's
say.
jumping. Yeah.
That probably McAvoy probably been as just as good at Moon Knight.
Maybe, but I'm definitely more in the zone for Oscar Isaac.
I think it's just because you've seen him fighting and working on his choreography that you're so into that
I
guy.
don't know. I've always liked Oscar Isaac. Like I first saw him in Drive with Ryan Gosling. I've seen him in I never pronounced the name of this right. It's like Deus Ex Machina, or I can't remember. It's some robot movie. He was really good in that. He's Poe Dameron in Star Wars. Like I've seen him in a bunch of different things, and he's always like really high caliber. So I
Yeah.
even up as Apocalypse. I liked him as
Oh,
Apocalypse.
I
God
didn't.
bless him. That wasn't his fault, but he's tried. So yeah, he's tried Marvel before. I'm glad he's back. But I think
Hopefully
he can
this is
pull that
the
off.
hopefully this is the role that corrects that because that Apocalypse was terrible.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was a waste of Oscar Isaac too, and Apocalypse.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I think he has the range to cover all these different personalities, and I think you need someone strong to do it in a like a fun way, a respectable way, because you don't want to portray mental illness in a disrespectful way. I think he can
So,
bring all of those aspects in.
so the villain is going to be played by Ethan Hawke, who is
Yes.
I think another incredible actor. You know Ethan Hawke has an Oscar? I don't know if you knew that.
For what? Do you know?
No, I don't know. But so there's a couple different people that Ethan Hawke could be portrayed. Oh, never mind. He's been nominated for 4 Oscars. Sorry, he doesn't
Oh, he
actually
hasn't
have one.
gotten one.
Uh,
Oscar
tr-
nominated. That's still probably in the title. It's still a
yeah,
big thing.
Training Day, Before Sunset, Before
Mm,
Midnight, and Boyhood.
mhm. But not Sinister, man.
Not Sinister, not Sinister. But so one of the characters that I think Ethan Hawke could be played is a guy named Sun King, and Sun as an SUN Sun, like
Mhm.
the star, and which is kind of cool because Sun suffers from bipolar and depression, and
Okay.
that's kind of like where his like weakness is. So I think that's a very possible character that Ethan Hawke could play, just because I think Ethan Hawke likes to play those layered characters, those characters who kind of like face like a moral dilemma. Like if you look at like Training Day, he's a cop who wants to do the right thing, but yet he like throughout the movie he continues does the wrong thing because he's peer pressure into doing it. So
Okay.
I think he plays a really good layered character. Sun King's powers is he can create fire with his hands. It's kind of like a lame power. You think of like Pyro from X-Men, but
Mhm.
Pyro can't actually create the fire; he can just manipulate it.
Yeah.
Sun King also goes by Patient 86 because he's in and out of a mental asylum multiple times.
Okay.
Uh, and so that's one of the characters I think could come up as a villain in this show. Do you have a character that you have in mind?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So the one that I'm leaning most towards, and it seems like most people are kind of leaning towards this too, is Bushman.
Oh,
And
okay.
did you think somebody else?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it before I get into Bushman?
No,
Because
no. Go
I'm
ahead. Go ahead.
okay. So Bushman is so kind of Mark Spector's origin is he's like a mercenary with his team, and they're in Egypt, and they're basically Bushman is Mark Spector's partner, or one of part of his squad, and Bushman basically double crosses and betrays them and ends up killing Mark. And he's a bad dude, but Mark's origins are tied to Bushman, and basically Mark is like dying, and he's like by the statue of Khonshu, the moon god, and Khonshu and him basically come to an agreement that Mark will be his avatar, his warrior, or whatever you want to call it, and take on the mantle of Moon Knight. So Mark agrees, and then basically now that he's back, he's able to stop Bushman in this way, but Bushman is like an ongoing antagonist for Moon Knight. Bushman will come back and try to kill him. Moon Knight has killed Bushman before. So I think if we're doing an origin story for Moon Knight, Bushman might be a good one to carry that through from beginning to end, as Bushman is there from the beginning for the origin, and then yeah, is just kind of continues through the series. And who knows, Moon Knight might even kill him like he does in the comics. That could be an arc, and I think that's something that Moon Knight is deals with. I don't know if we'll see this in the show, but I think at one point Moon Knight carves Bushman's face off with one of his crescent darts,
Yeah, I can't see that
and
happening.
yeah, and like Khonshu will appear to Moon Knight as this faceless Bushman. I doubt we'll get that, but it's pretty cool, pretty badass.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, Moon Knight has killed Bushman. I think it would make sense if you do. I think I don't know. That one seems the most grounded to me. And I
Yes,
don't know
definitely
that
most
we'll get
grounded.
him. I doubt we'll see Bushman like in Moon Knight 2 or 3 or in the movies, but I think he could be a good introduction villain as Moon Knight's as his origin. So that's what I'm leaning towards right now.
So yeah, I think Mephisto could be a cool villain just because Mephisto can give him his powers. Mephisto can lure him in to be like, hey, you got to be this vigilante for me. You have to do my deeds basically. And then once Mark Spector realizes that, hey, like fuck, I'm a villain, he kind of turns and he ends up having to fight Mephisto. And it'd be kind of cool just because everybody thought Mephisto was going to be in WandaVision. And, this is another way they can add him into the MCU.
Yeah, it could be. I could see Mephisto being in there in some way. I don't think Mephisto could be the one to give the powers though, because I think that totally bypasses Khonshu and like all the moon powers.
Hmm.
In fact, one of the things I'm most curious in is if they will show Khonshu, the moon god, because a lot of times you can physically see him, or Moon Knight can, see visions of Khonshu. So I'm curious if he will show up or if they'll kind of have him as more of a, I don't know, like a deity figure that you never see, but he's just spoken of. If
Yeah.
he's just kind of like in like hallucination type visions, you just maybe hear a voice and there's some sort of, dreamy kind of visual going on. So I don't know if they'll actually give us Khonshu. I would love it if they did.
Khonshu
But
kind of looks like one of those 80s, not 80s, like 1800, 1700 witch doctors where they have that huge like
oh,
beak.
the plague mask.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, because he kind of has like a bird
beak.
beak face, but it's like only bones, like it's like just
Hmm.
skulls, and he's wearing a white suit. He's a really cool looking guy. But
Sorry
and
for
even in
our
like a oh,
sorry
go
for
ahead.
our audio audience. He's up here for our video audience.
Oh yeah. And yeah, he'd be really cool to see brought in visually. In the current Avengers run, they even like they have to fight Khonshu, or Moon Knight has to fight Khonshu, so he can be a physical embodiment. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be. I hope they bring him in, but I don't know if they'll try to go a more grounded approach, or
Yeah.
maybe even play up the mental aspects. Like, is Mark crazy, or is he really,
Well, that's why like Sun King
the
would
moon
work
god?
so well, just because he had a lot of mental issues with his bipolar and depression.
Yeah,
This whole series could be like a calling card for depression and people with bipolar disorder.
it could be if you see two different people
How they
using it or dealing with it differently.
yeah,
I'm not too familiar with Sun King, so I don't know his particular.
I'm not either. I just like I looked at like people that could possibly be in it, and I saw that was like a really cool thing. Another, did you have another character besides your guy?
No, I guess more on Bushman though. If we were, he could be. I've seen he could be a good tie to Sun King, even if Ethan Hawke isn't one or the other. I believe Bushman has worked with Crossfire and Sun King before. Crossfire would actually be a cool one to bring into the universe somewhere. He's like another. He's like a sharpshooter type,
Hmm.
but he's Darren Cross's brother. Remember Yellow Jacket from the Ant-Man movies? So
Yeah,
if he has a
that'd be cool.
brother out there, yeah, that but he Crossfire is usually more of like a Hawkeye villain, but I don't think he'll be in the show. And then Bushman, I believe, has also teamed up with Baron Zemo and Taskmaster.
Okay.
So he has a lot of, I guess, crossover potential if you wanted to use him outside of just one, like a one and done series. I don't know. Do you think Ethan Hawke is the kind to sign on to a multi
Yeah,
picture thing?
yeah. I
I've
feel
seen him ever do sequels.
I want to say he had. So the movie he was nominated for, Boyhood,
Hmm.
took 15 years to film because they filmed for 90 days for 15 years. So
Okay.
like it was like the progress of this kid growing up.
Okay.
So you have to sign on for something like multiple years, if you're going to do something like that.
Yeah, but that's like really like artsy.
Yeah, but like the fact that he's doing that for multiple years, I think kind of signals like it gives me the idea that yeah, he would be willing to do a movie multiple times or like multiple for multiple
Yeah.
years.
I guess Marvel Studios is a bigger deal now, so people are more
Um,
inclined to jump in. But yeah, I don't know
he
what they'll do with him.
he did The Purge, and he also was in The Purge, the television series,
Okay, well, I guess that kind of counts.
Sinister One and Sinister Two.
He wasn't actually in Sinister
Sinister Two,
2.
it just
I
says
think it
credited. Yeah.
just, yeah, they like show a picture of him, I think, or they drop his name.
But yeah, actually, I think you're right. I don't think he's ever been in sequels. Looking like going through his movies,
I
he
just see him as like a,
a one and done.
yeah, I see him as like the artsy, thespian type that I can't be tied down to one
Oh
particular
nope.
thing.
In 1991, he made a movie called White Fang, and then in 1994, he did White Fang 2, Myth of the White. Damn it! Nope, he was uncredited. Fuck.
Well, shit. I don't know. He might
Yeah.
be dying in Moon Knight.
Um. So there's another character I have, and it's like very unlikely, but I think it'd be like kind of a cool thing to be in. This guy's name's Jack Russell, and he's a werewolf.
Oh yeah, Werewolf by Night.
Yeah. So I think it'd be cool because I want to say Moon Knight's weapons are made of silver, and
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
I'm not 100% positive, but I want to say that they're made of silver, and the werewolf is vulnerable to weapons composed of silver. So this could be uh, Moon Knight's first kill because he has to kill him with his weapons, and it'd also be great because Ethan Hawke doesn't do sequels. So if you kill Jack Russell off right off the back, he doesn't have to worry about coming for a sequel.
I guess that's true. I wouldn't want that to, if they're doing Jack Russell, Werewolf by Night, I would want it to be kind of an origin stepping stone because Werewolf by Night ends up kind of being a little bit of a hero himself. So he could start off as an antagonist, but then have like
Mm-hmm.
maybe some sort of like redemption arc where he becomes more more inclined to be a hero. So yeah, if they brought him in, I don't think you could kill him. I think you'd have to transition him into something farther on, which would be cool. We could get. I mean, it feels like they are building towards more supernatural, mystical type teams. I mean, we got Blade coming
And,
out. We got
and
Doctor Strange
we
already
never
in.
know when Blade's coming out.
Sometime in Phase 5.
I
Yeah,
I think they just had to like hire another set of writers.
yeah. Well, it's probably still a ways down the road. You figure we're
Yeah.
still, if they're only filming like Moon Knight right now, and I don't know, we still got like a few years. So it makes sense if, because Mahershala was the one that came to Marvel and was like, "Hey, I'd really love to play Blade," and they were like, "Cool," and this is where we can put it in. So they had the actor from the get go. So it makes
Hmm.
sense if it's kind of a slow burn movie that they're only just now writing or getting writers on and all of that. But but yeah, with him, it could be cool to see a like more of a mystical team, like maybe the Midnight Suns pop up, and that would consist of like Moon Knight, Blade, Doctor Strange could probably be in that. I mean, you can play around. Werewolf by
Yeah.
Night, I think would be a good one for that.
So I got a question for you. So every Marvel series so far has had a not a cameo, not a cameo, but like it's had other people be in it. So like except for WandaVision, like they had Vision being Vision. Uh,
Oh, you mean like a crossover character, like
not a
somebody?
not I wouldn't say a crossover, but like somebody you weren't expecting. Like Sharon, we didn't know we knew Sharon was going to be in it, but we didn't know how much.
Okay.
Like Baron Zemo, they've had like other characters.
Hmm.
Who do you think is going to be a Moon Knight to kind of connect it to the MCU?
Hmm. We
Somebody that
talked
we've
about it a
probably already
little.
seen. Hmm?
Oh, sorry.
Somebody that we've probably already seen too.
Oh, somebody that we see. My initial thought was Echo, who's going to be in Hawkeye, because Echo often has been in Moon Knight. Like she's shown
Well,
up in Moon Knight comic
I'm sure
series.
that can
But
be the case then because Hawkeye should already be out by then.
right, it
So
should be established.
Echo could probably be the person that connects it.
Yeah, but if you're wanting somebody else, um, I don't know. I would maybe guess Doctor Strange.
Doctor
My
Strange.
my crazy speculation is he's putting together a team of mystical heroes and we're getting a Midnight Suns. If they are actually, because they were talking about Ghost Rider potentially being revealed in Doctor
Yeah,
Strange also. Ghost Rider would be another Midnight Sun. So
and then Ghost Rider also helped connect Mephisto.
yeah, I don't think Mephisto will be in Moon Knight, at least not in a big way. I think Mephisto could very much be in like a Doctor
Strange,
Strange.
yeah.
I think he'll
What
probably be
about
built up.
what do you think about Val?
In Moon Knight,
Yeah,
I could see her if
like creating like recruiting maybe Sun King or recruiting
the
Jack Russell,
Bushmaster, yeah,
Bushmaster, you know,
whoever
recruiting for her
recruiting
Thunder.
Ethan Hawke. Yeah,
Yeah, recruiting Ethan Hawke.
I
Um,
could see that. That was what I was gonna say. If maybe they want to take one of those characters if they're tying them into a team.
hmm That's what I was gonna say. That's I feel like that's an easy person to put in.
Yeah, if yeah, assuming that, because I wonder, it seems like Marvel is maybe setting up to have a lot of different branching storylines going on. You know, like usually, like with the Avengers, we kind of had one linear thing going on with the Avengers building up to Thanos, and there was all of that. So it was all building to like one big bad, essentially. Where maybe now you can have uh, the young Avengers going towards Kang, you know, and
hmm
you can maybe have Doctor Strange building up a Midnight Suns to take on Mephisto, or you know, you can have these different things going on. So I
And
wonder if maybe they are, yeah, maybe taking these other avenues, and then maybe later on down the road have them all converge into one big massive fight. I mean, we still have a whole cosmic MCU
yeah,
that is going to
so
be hanging on to.
when you look at IMDb, the bio about the movie says Mark Spector is a former CIA agent. Who do you
Okay,
know that's in the CIA?
tell me,
Peggy Carter, not Peggy. Yeah, Peggy
Sharon.
Sharon Carter. Sharon
Mhm.
Carter. So we could possibly see Sharon as like a small cameo, like before he becomes Moon Knight. Maybe they're on an operation together. It's like, 3 years back, a flashback or something like that. So we could possibly see Sharon in this as well.
That could be cool if I see what you're saying, and maybe either Val or Sharon, if they're putting together, if they need, they could maybe go to Moon Knight as
hmm
somebody who's willing to do, willing to get their hands dirty a little bit more than your
hmm
typical superhero like Captain America who won't
And
kill and
if we have Val, maybe U.S. agents there as a bodyguard.
yeah, they could even team up for a little bit. I know
Mhm.
we talked about it I think a little bit in Falcon and Winter Soldier, but the potential for a West Coast Avengers.
Yeah,
Moon Knight was part of the West Coast Avengers, so I guess there's technically a little bit of a
a connection there.
yeah, like US Agent was part of that, Hawkeye was part of that. So there's a little bit there. You could go that route, but I think I'm personally hoping for Midnight Suns.
Yeah.
Really, really hoping for that one out of all of it.
That's all I got for Moon Knight, unless you have something else.
I think that's uh pretty much what I've got too. So I guess we can get on to She-Hulk
She-Hulk,
now.
yeah. So She-Hulk, aka Jennifer Walter. She's a lawyer by day, crime fighter by night. Actually, I think
Or
she crime.
both by yeah.
Yeah, I think she does both all the time.
Yeah.
So real quick, just because we talked about the cameos, I think General Ross would be like an easy one for She-Hulk to have, just because it connects She-Hulk and the Hulk.
I think that would be a good one. I mean, we know the big crossover one will be Bruce Banner, the Hulk, because he
He,
is confirmed to be in the show too.
is he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. I was watching the Investors Day thing, and Feige himself did confirm that Mark Ruffalo, the Hulk, will be in the show, and it makes sense to do that because in the comics, Jennifer is the cousin of Bruce, and
Mm-hmm.
she's ill, and she needs a blood transfusion from a relative, Bruce Banner in this case. So when Bruce Banner donates some of his blood to her, that gives like the dad, like it transfers some of the gamma, and she turns into She-Hulk. Is basically how that comes together.
Yeah.
But she's not well. Typically, she's not the raging brute that the Hulk is.
No.
She's more put together. She
She's like
um,
Professor Hulk.
yeah, basically, yeah, she's
Yeah.
like Smart Hulk or however. So she can still walk around and act like a normal person. There are iterations, I think, even like in a current run, where she is just like a mindless, strong as shit brute that is just tearing through things like the Hulk. But typically, and I imagine what they're going for in the show is, well, she's going to be a lawyer. Like she's going to be She-Hulk
Yeah.
and a lawyer at the same time. So yeah, so she'll just be like a, I don't know what you call her, like an 8 foot, 9 foot tall, or I don't know,
Hulk
maybe
woman, She-Hulk,
yeah, hmm yeah, green
Amazonian
lawyer.
type woman that's green.
I believe it's been said that it'll be a legal comedy, something like that.
Really?
Uh,
That's interesting.
I think that's the theme that they've said. I'll have to double check if that's official, but
If
that's what
that's
I've been
if
seeing
that's
going
true,
around.
I like that. I like how that's because that's more of a sitcom feel then.
Yeah, and it would make sense because She-Hulk, I would imagine, has, like Moon Knight, the atmosphere and the setting is going
It's
to be
gonna be
very
very
dark.
dark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where She-Hulk, I imagine, is going to be bright, very bright and vibrant and fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Actually, I didn't know that. I love that Marvel's making more genres and adding, it's not just like I love that they're not just superhero movies. They each have their own genre.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was also rumored for a little bit that She-Hulk might be in the Spider-Man movie, but since then we've gotten Charlie Cox. So we could have, or we almost saw She-Hulk a little bit earlier than
Yeah.
whatever the release date. I want to say this is gonna probably be 2022 as well.
Yeah, I'm thinking that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
according to IMDb, is 2022.
Okay.
And we also have Tim Roth Abomination confirmed as well.
Yeah, that's a big one coming back. The
Yeah,
Abomination. So I'm guessing he would be the villain or the
yeah.
antagonist, or at least one of. Because I can't imagine you would bring in the Abomination to do anything other than be a villain. So I don't know if we'll see Hulk and She-Hulk take on the Abomination. I don't know why the Abomination is out and about again. I'm curious to see what they pull together for that.
A couple other villains that I looked up because I like to look up my villains so that I have, some options.
Hmm.
One of them is called Frenzy, and I really liked her because she becomes an ambassador to Genosha, so that could be like a cool X-Men connecting way.
Hmm.
Um, she gets really like emotional and like really angry, and her powers come out through that way. Her mutant gene.
Okay.
Uh, her powers are super strength and durability, like super lame, but it'd be a cool way to kind of connect the X-Men because everybody has mutant genes. They just have to like somehow release them.
Hmm.
So I thought that was a cool one. And then you also mentioned Titania,
Oh
Mary,
yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Mary Fernan. Doctor Doom gives her powers, and that was those are only the two people that I thought like were even worth mentioning. Um, and then beforehand,
Yeah, I think I especially like Titania as like a good, just like a just as like a good fighter. Like it's
yeah.
two very strong women just
Hmm.
duking it out essentially. But yeah, I have to imagine since Abomination was confirmed that he's where we're going.
But that'd
Wonder
be
if we'll get
cool.
a leader. You think
That'd
they'll
be
bring him back?
They might, but that'd be cool with her, like having like the huge fight at the end. She's
Mhm.
fighting like Titania, Abomination fighting Hulk again, like a
Yeah.
rematch. He crushes Brooklyn again.
I wonder if the Abomination shows up if She-Hulk has to take him on because the Hulk's arm is still burnt and like busted from the Infinity
Well,
Gauntlet.
not only that, like with Professor Hulk being a thing now, like is that does that make him like weaker because he's
Right.
not like full on animalistic?
Yeah, he's not enraged. So
Yeah.
I've wondered that too. If yeah, maybe I guess he could technically outthink his opponent, but yeah, as far as like a rage strength, just yeah, like how you put it, animalistic combat,
Mhm.
it may be different. But I guess at least they would be on the same intellectual level
Yeah.
since Abomination can think clearly. But yeah, I wonder. I don't know if Hulk can take him this time, depending on if he's going to be down an arm, basically.
Mhm.
But I guess you could write it that his arm could heal because before he does the snap, he says that the gauntlet is mostly gamma
Gamma.
energy, that he was
Yeah.
built for it. So I could see maybe it's a slower process, but he could heal like through all
And
those gamma cells.
Marvel's pretty good with continuity, so, like, when we go through a year usually Marvel goes through a year,
Hmm.
So it's been how many years since Endgame? I'm sure his arm has healed a pretty significant amount, if not fully.
Yeah, if they go that route. I don't know if
And
we'll see
he
him in the arm cast
the
to
sleeve
start. Yeah, the
sling.
sleeve, the sling. Yeah, there you go. So I don't know. I think I would prefer them just heal the arm because I don't want
Yeah,
to have a Hulk that can't do anything.
I do want though, like some kind of like scarring on his arm or
That would
something
be cool.
to
Yeah.
show. Um, quick thing that I don't know if recognize. You can see in especially in Ragnarok when Abomination stabbed him in the Incredible Hulk. If you
Hmm.
remember, he still has the scars, and you can see him really good in Ragnarok.
Oh, that's a really cool callback if they're still going
So,
at. Yeah, because he like
so
stabbed him with his own bone or something.
yeah.
Hmm.
So the continuity is really good. We've always mentioned that on this podcast how Marvel's really good at their continuity.
Hmm.
But so since the Hulk has that scar, it'd be really cool for them to show like his whole arm being kind of scarred up or something.
Yeah, I would be happy with that just to show that there is some damage that that they are keeping it tied together. Because I was
Hmm.
thinking, I was like, okay, over time, Thanos's arm never healed and he just never used it. But Thanos wasn't
Gamma.
Gamma. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that maybe we can bring the Hulk in. I would love a team up between the Hulk and She-Hulk if they have to fight
That's probably what we're gonna
Abomination
see.
together. That's what I would like too. But
Yeah.
I imagine it. I don't know because Marvel is probably gonna wanna. I mean, we talked about how like with Doctor Strange, they didn't want the guy to come in and like save the day with Wanda, whatever thing like that. So maybe
Uh,
they're not gonna want Hulk as part of that
but
end fight. They're gonna need
no,
like the
that
girl power
I
moment
think that'd
to.
be perfect because the Hulk, he's still having maybe lingering effects of the snap,
Hmm.
and maybe she has to step in to save him, and that can
Yeah,
also tie into him not being, you know, animalistic like we mentioned, and he kind of he doesn't have it all together when he's the Hulk. He's still like trying to outthink his opponents versus just punching the shit out of him because he's super strong.
yeah,
And so she like steps in and like whoops somebody's ass.
yeah. She has to have the big moment at the end for sure because it is her show.
It is correct, yeah,
But I still would like to see the Hulk play somewhat of an integral role. I don't want him to donate the blood and then be gone, which
yeah.
is what I could totally see that happening
I feel
too.
bad for Mark Ruffalo, who's such a great actor and has yet to get his own like movie where
I
he's the
know
star
it's the rights issue, the
with the
Universal
Universal.
right.
Hmm.
I think Marvel has them back now. I think they have the Universal rights.
Well, the it Universal wants to use the Hulk ride as like part of their thing, their theme park.
Hmm.
So I don't think they're. I think they've given like Marvel can do whatever they want with the movie rights, but they don't want to give 100% of the rights back just because of like the Hulk ride at Universal Studios.
I
I
see.
think that's what I read like years ago.
I think the movie rights are the ones that most of us are really concerned about. Like,
Yeah.
let him have his own movie and show. Universal's probably like, just pay us some money for it. Because at this point, Marvel can game it so
Hmm.
easily. Just never make a Hulk movie or outright show, and you're good. So you might as well just sell it back a little bit,
Yeah, and then
get something out of it.
he's been in what Avengers, Age of Ultron, Endgame, uh,
Yeah,
what
Thor
else?
Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok, uh, Infinity War.
Yeah,
So
so he's been in a lot of stuff. He just
he
never
was
has been able
also
to hold
in
his own.
Iron Man 3. He had that cameo at the very end where he's like
Oh, the
talking.
therapist. Yeah,
Yes.
that's right. So yeah, I do hope that he gets to do a little bit in the She-Hulk movie. Of course, it's her or in her show, and of course it
Yeah.
is her show. So she'll be the main character. She'll have the most to do.
According to IMDb, I know I always reference IMDb.
Hmm.
Uh, there's 10 episodes, and he is in all 10 as well as Abomination.
He's in all of them.
Yeah, according to IMDb, like they could have
Hmm.
just put that, but that'd be kind of cool if he's in all of them.
Yeah, I could see. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe he's like mentoring her at the beginning of like her strength or something like that.
Hmm.
Like by night and by day she's lawyering.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, it would make sense. I could totally see it. I yeah, I all of them seemed like I didn't expect him to be in all of them. Assuming that is correct, assuming that
Hmm.
it is legitimate. I guess we'll see as more news comes out. But yeah, that'll be another big one, and I am glad to see the Hulk return, and hopefully a little bit more get to learn a little bit more about
More.
him. I'm really excited about Abomination because I thought they forgot him. So, and I
Hmm.
hope that leads into maybe we see more of the leader because that's another dangling thread that I think they've been. Yeah, I imagine they'll bring in the
It's
leader at some
it's
point.
sat there like Marvel. There's been a few storylines where Marvel's just had it and just kind of let it go.
Yeah, I think there were like some comics that were meant to tie in, like kind of tie up some of those loose ends. Like I think one of them was Black Widow killed the leader or Abomination. I can't remember exactly. So I think they tried
And
to tie it up that way, but I think everyone's just forgetting about that and ignoring
and
it.
I'm pretty sure it was Tim Blake Nelson as the leader, right?
Yeah, yeah, Tim Blake
And
Nelson.
he's a fantastic actor.
Yeah, he would be. I would really like to see him go full big head leader,
Yeah.
and that would be a really fun one. But yeah, I don't know what the continuity is. Well, what Abomination is probably being held by Shield, right? Except Shield is
No longer.
yeah, so
So
he's
Abomination's
probably at
probably
the raft, I would
yeah,
imagine.
he's probably at the raft with General Ross,
Yeah.
which makes sense if Ross is going to be in it. Which I didn't on IMDb it didn't show Ross,
It would
but
also make sense we were talking about Val if she needs some sort of Hulk type.
mm-hmm. Rat Val could pop up in this one too.
If she needs Abomination who's trying to maybe reform and be part of this Suicide Squad esque team,
Yeah,
that's doing
Thunderbolts.
some, yeah, then this could be a good way. Yeah, that would actually work out perfect. I know
Yeah.
General Ross in the comics, Thunderbolts like isn't him, but it's so perfect to have it Thunderbolt Ross making the Thunderbolts kind of being tied in on all of
Mm-hmm.
this and having his own team to do some of to because we don't really have an Avengers right now in
No,
the MCU.
no, not
They're
right now. They're
yeah,
like in transition.
yeah, it's really in flux. So if the world is needing, well, they really wanted a new Captain America. So if they're needing a new team, and Thunderbolt Ross is like, yeah, I can put one together, or maybe
Yeah.
Val. I wouldn't be too surprised if Thunderbolt Ross is maybe working with Val in some capacity. We'll learn a lot more about Thunderbolt Ross when Black Widow eventually comes out.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
that'll give us a lot of insight because he's going to be in that pretty predominantly as well as Taskmaster, who I'm still holding pretty strong is going to show up and be in a Thunderbolts later as another team
Yes.
member. I hope. I really hope he's not dead at the end of Black Widow and just done with. I want to see more
I hope
Taskmaster.
not. Yeah,
I
same thing
love
with like
Taskmaster.
Ghost from Ant-Man 2. We never saw her again.
Yeah, but she hasn't had as much time yet. I mean, I don't know what they'll do with Ghost.
Well,
I guess you could just say she's cured, or they can just keep giving her the
the
quantum
the
energy.
actress already like signed on for another like series, so she's not coming back.
Oh, okay. Huh. I guess maybe they have no plans for it because there's Quantumania that's coming out, but they didn't mention her name as one of the
Yeah, no, she's mm-mm.
returning characters, which I
So
don't necessarily need her. I liked Ghost, but I don't know if you're bringing in Kang the Conqueror.
she would also be a cool character to bring in for the Thunderbolts with
She
her
would be good,
power.
yeah.
Yeah,
But it feels like she needs to be on the redemptive arc
yeah.
now.
Well,
She can't
that's
really go dark.
if she thinks they're a good guys to begin
That's
with,
true. Yeah.
then it'd be perfectly for her. She'd be like all in.
That could make sense, yeah, because like John Walker thinks he's on the right side.
Right,
He's giving
exactly.
another
Yeah.
chance, so he's kind of on that redemptive arc too. But we'll see it maybe not go quite according to plan.
Point. Yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think
interesting.
yeah, there's a Marvel has set up so many doors, and it's going to be so great from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're only scratching the surface because there's still a ton of Disney Plus shows that have been revealed, and I know there are a ton that haven't been revealed.
Hmm.
So we have a lot to talk about coming up. Still a lot to learn. But yeah, next up, Loki on June 9th, because they moved that up a couple days. I think we
And
mentioned that last
and
episode.
the Black Widow movie.
Black Widow movie. Yeah, so it's almost like month to month we're getting some sort of Marvel content, which is
Yeah,
awesome to me. I am, yeah, especially after like a year and a half drought of no Marvel content thanks to COVID.
yeah,
Yeah, throwing them all out there. Perfect. I think I saw somewhere that they said that Black Widow's just been sitting on a shelf somewhere, just waiting.
yeah. Collecting dust.
Yeah, yeah, just waiting to be released. So it's about time.
But yeah, I think that's it for this episode, guys.
Yep. Next episode, we'll come back with, I believe, another 3 or 4 Disney Plus shows to talk about. We still
Well,
have a few.
I know there's Armor Wars and Secret Invasion left. I don't know if there's another one after that.
There's like
I have
a
to.
Guardians holiday special.
Yeah, we'll probably throw that
So,
one in there.
yeah, so we'll talk Disney Plus in the next episode next week as well. So, yeah, stay tuned and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace out.